Addition. Ranger often lay beside Henry's crib, his tail gently wagging as he kept watch over the baby, peacefully sleeping. But as days turned into weeks, Edward started noticing a shift in Ranger's usual behavior. The once affectionate and carefree dog began acting strangely near the crib. It started with subtle changes. Ranger would sniff the air intently, his ears standing tall, his body unusually tense. Then, one evening, as Eleanor rocked Henry to sleep, Ranger stationed himself firmly at the crib's foot, releasing a low, deep growl. Edward's heart pounded. This wasn't the familiar behavior of their loving dog. Alarmed, he approached Ranger, calling softly, but the dog refused to move. His eyes locked on something invisible. "Eleanor, this doesn't feel right," Edward said, his voice thick with worry. "It's like Ranger's trying to guard Henry from something." Sharing his concern, Eleanor suggested they visit the veterinarian. After a detailed examination, the vet reassured them that Ranger was perfectly healthy. "Dogs can pick up on subtle changes in their environment that we might miss," he explained. "It could be anything, an unusual sound, a smell, or even something in the atmosphere. Just keep observing him closely." That night, lying in bed, Edward couldn't shake the feeling of unease. He replayed Ranger's behavior repeatedly in his mind. The following day, he decided to dig deeper. Watching Ranger closely, Edward noticed that Ranger seemed fixated on one particular corner of the nursery, growling softly whenever he got close. Curiosity sparked. Edward moved toward the corner, where he felt a faint draft. "Eleanor, come here," he called out. Together they examined the spot and quickly realized something was amiss. The air felt damp, carrying a peculiar musty odor. Edward's instincts kicked in. "We need to get this checked out," he said, his tone decisive. They called a home inspector, who arrived equipped with tools and a sharp eye. As the inspector examined the room, Ranger stayed on high alert, keeping a close watch on the man's every move. After a thorough investigation, the inspector's expression grew serious. "You've got a major humidity issue here," he explained. "There's clear evidence of water damage, likely from a wall leak. This could lead to mold, which is especially hazardous for a newborn." Edward and Eleanor exchanged anxious glances. "What should we do?" Eleanor asked, her voice shaky. "You'll need to repair the leaks and treat the area for mold," the inspector advised. "It's critical to handle this before it turns into a bigger problem." Motivated by the urgency, Edward and Eleanor quickly arranged for the repairs. Over the next several days, workers came in to fix the leaks and treat the walls. Throughout it all, Ranger stayed vigilant, stationed near Henry's crib, his protective instincts unwavering. After a week of repairs and a deep cleaning, the nursery was finally declared safe. Edward and Eleanor stood in the freshly painted room, a wave of relief washing over them. "We can finally put Henry back in his crib," Eleanor said softly, her voice full of gratitude. As they carefully placed Henry in the crib, Edward kept an eye on Ranger. The dog sniffed the air, his posture noticeably relaxed. Slowly, Ranger approached the crib, his alert demeanor shifting to one of calm. He lay down beside Henry, resting his head gently on the crib's edge, his eyes filled with a quiet, watchful love. Edward felt an overwhelming wave of emotion. "You did it, buddy," he whispered, his voice thick with gratitude. Tears welled in his eyes. "You kept our family safe." From that day forward, Ranger continued as Henry's faithful guardian, but this time with a calm sense of peace.